Hey folks, Carla Sands here, putting in a plug for Gene Valentino's Grassroots Truthcast.
To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12 packs or try our introductory 3-pack absolutely free.
Here is Gene Valentino, our friend who's been on a hiatus from our radio station for a couple of weeks, but he had a big trip over to Europe. And can you share with us what was going on with that, Gene? Good morning.
Good morning. We went to see family. We missed you, and I hope all is well in the Pine Belt. We had to take a week or two to catch up with family and friends over in Budapest, Hungary, where my wife and I stayed for almost 2 weeks. What an interesting culture. What a proud nation that left the grip of Russia about in the 1980s completely and got off on their own. This is not unlike the report I provided a few years earlier when my son and I were in Riga, Latvia. But this trip was very inviting. It was family first, but I also had a chance to put in perspective what the world is thinking about America. And with all of the issues under our nose every day, saturating us with the news story of the minute, Michael, we had Europeans who are sincerely interested in wanting to know how America was doing. Viktor Orban, president of Hungary, is a very good friend of Donald Trump. He like Trump, has certain people within the political system in Hungary challenging him, not to the extent, not with the hardship Donald Trump feels, but it's not a 350 million population nation either. It's about 20, 30 million. And this nation has done, which is the size of the state of Florida, has done a miraculous job at retaining autonomy, maintaining a constitutional republic of their form of democracy. They have a very ornate, elegant parliament, which continues to expand. Literally, as the governing structures change, the parliament sitting right on the Danube River is indicative of the flamboyance of wealth that they have in one extent with an upper middle niche class, and then the hardworking lower class, sort of a two-party, two-culture, two-tiered system. I wouldn't call it socialism or feudalism, but it is quite different than the United States. For example, the mid-size compact car, an SRX or an SUV, simply doesn't fit in most garages. The mass transit system is always about a quarter of a mile away. At least that's their design. This is the most elegant mass transit system in the world. They are healthier because they're all walking, mostly walking. Yes, they have a car, but it's something smaller than a Kia, if you can imagine that. And it's really something. My wife and I rented the scooters and the little small bikes with the fat tires, and we got around Budapest. You know, the Danube River splits Budapest in half. The east side is the Pest region, and the west side is the Buda region, and therefore the name Budapest. And it's got about 12 to 14 primary bridges connecting both sides of the town. Quite interesting how it's laid out. And I had the privilege of being there through my friends at Newsmax also, who introduced me to the Danube Institute. The Danube Institute is a conservative think tank of scholars people from around the world, and they were inviting us to dinner while we were there. Maureen and I had the chance to go to the dinner, and they were honoring Margaret Thatcher. The Danube Institute, with the help of certain leaders, both in Hungary and in Great Britain, raised a bust, a full life-size figure of Margaret Thatcher up near the Parliament downtown, and it was quite a showing. But the night before, they had a great dinner, and there were, I'm guessing 50 to 70 people there from all walks of life coming in for the celebration. Hungary's very close to Great Britain, the United Kingdom, very much like Viktor Orban is with the United States and President Trump. They asked me to say a few words. I was sitting next to the president of Czechoslovakia, Mr. President Václav Klaus, who now is in his 80s. What an interesting gentleman. He says, he says, you Americans don't realize it, but half of my life, I was a communist, and the other half of my life, I became a proud supporter of democracy and a constitutional republic system, which got me to become president of Czechoslovakia. Really? I said. We carried on. Sitting three chairs away from me was Lord Cash and his wife, Lady Cash, who sat in Westminster just a week or two earlier at the big dinner in honor of the second visit by President Trump at the invite of King Charles. And it was interesting to see people from all walks of life. At this dinner, they asked me to say a few words, and the question they posed to me was, how are you Americans doing with all the disruption you have? And how are you Americans doing? Is Donald Trump really fixing things the way it seems over here that he is? Well, I said, and I bit my tongue when I said it, and then I just decided to say it. Folks, in the next few weeks, you're going to see some remarkable things happen in the United States that are going to fundamentally change the way you look at the United States. Forgive us for our weak posture and lack of leadership the previous 4 years. But give Donald Trump a chance. He's on board now almost 9 months, and he's trying to move a mountain overnight to get things fixed again. And sure enough, we're coming home, and he's announcing the peace treaty with Hamas and Israel. Couldn't have been better timing. And this 20-point plan on the peace treaty really laid out what I was speaking at the Danube Institute about. And I wasn't kissing up to them. I could see some of them had their own sense of causticness. So I said something like, just remember, folks, we were there for you after World War II. The Monroe Doctrine, the Marshall Plan, the Berlin Airlift, and things we've done to help Europe grow. It's our fault. We allowed other self-serving forces to take advantage of America, and our biggest problem now is that America is being eaten from within, not from, you take China and Russia and put them together, and their attempt to do harm against America is not as great as the insurrectionists, the invaders from the South, and the deep state cabal of wrongdoing that controls Senate leaders and Democrat representatives in the House of Representatives and the Senate. The Chuck Schumers, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Maxine Waters, the Adam Schiffs, Hakeem Jeffries. I said, I could name 6 more. I said, these people have to go. You here in Hungary have the ability to push people out quickly. We have no term limits for House of Representatives and Congress and Senate. And as a result, they were looking. I said, it's your turn, I said. It's your turn to reach out to America. Get on board with supporting Donald Trump. Get behind us during our time of need right now. Let us get strong again so we can help you. And sure enough, we see, and I made reference to the fact of the Trump surgically taking B-1 bombers out of Missouri and surgically dropping the mother of all bombs into 4-foot diameter holes, which are the entries into nuclear plants in Iran. It put the world on notice. We're back in the game. And it put the world on notice that America is not going to be taken advantage of. Our biggest problem is that, and I said this at the meeting. Here you have a Donald Trump who's running the 440 sprint and winning the track race. But the magic is that he did it carrying a ball and chain, and getting whacked in the knees by the likes of a Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Adam Schiff, and the rest of the clan, Hakeem Jeffries. Can you imagine trying to win a track race? Can you imagine trying to win with carrying a ball and chain? That's what this man has dealt with, and we are going, if there's ever a chance, and I said this yesterday, if there's ever a time for a new person on the wall of Mount Rushmore, Donald Trump now needs his own Mount Rushmore. It's unprecedented and historic what he has done in the last, 9 months now in his term of office. It's historic and unprecedented, and I challenge anybody to try to match that track record. I must say, the loyalty of the team around him speaks for itself. And they have done what his previous administration did not do, and that is support Donald Trump the way the current cabinet does. Really quite impressive. That was the public-facing side of what we did in Hungary. The private-facing side was with family and seeing the countryside.
Yeah, that's great. That's a great story. So we don't have much time left. We got about a minute and a half. I did want to ask you about the government shutdown, what you think about it. How are we going to get out of this? Who will fold?
I don't suspect Mike Johnson's going to fold. He has been historically underestimated and has proven successful. He's staying the course because he has Donald Trump and the rest of the high-ranking officials behind him. Rick Scott from Florida, John Thune, the Senate leader, are all getting behind Mike Johnson. They're playing us. The Republicans are playing us. The reason this hasn't occurred in the past is because the Republicans buckled under Democrat leadership. And we gave in to their reckless spending, which we then got accused of supporting. We are not supporting any more reckless spending. We're holding the line, and there's going to be criminal indictments following at the same time.
Yeah, Comey's been indicted now. We saw yesterday where Letitia Big Tish James has been indicted for. And look, I read the indictment. I don't know if you had a chance to see that, but it's pretty detailed. This is serious.
The problem, the benefit which people haven't seen yet, is that poor Pam Bondi is taking her time to make sure she dots the I's and crosses the T's on these charges against everybody that she's going after with the help of Kash Patel from the FBI, because they know it's going to rise to the Supreme Court. And because it's going to, they want to make sure they have their documents well scribed to withstand the scrutiny at the Supreme Court level.
Gotcha. All right, Gene, we're out of time. So glad to have you back. We'll see you again next week.
I'm looking forward to it. Glad to be home, everyone.
To celebrate our newest launch, Rev 7, I'm bringing you an amazing introductory offer, plus an exclusive overstock sale that you're not going to want to miss. Rev 7 is our premium energy drink that tastes great and gives you energy all day with no jitters and no crashes. That's because there's no sugar and no caffeine. So go to mypillow.com or call the number on your screen Use your promo code to save 20% on our Rev 7 12 packs or try our introductory 3 pack absolutely free.